Last night, I had the pleasure of sitting through Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon for the first time in several years. I want to say since 2010, 2011 or so. I first saw it while it was on TV, and I really liked it, and I really wanted to watch it again, but unfortunately, I just didn't see it on TV again. But I finally had the time to pick up the movie again, watch it, and just enjoy it for what it was. And I was really surprised at how I remembered pretty much everything, like every major plot thread, every single line, every single scene. Like I remembered everything I saw of the original movie. Like considering it was a cut for TV, the things I did not remember seemed to be were probably cut from the original movie or cut for the TV release, I should say, because I don't remember the thing with the guillotine with the cat, and I don't remember seeing titties. But Enter the Dragon is an extremely memorable movie. Like I liked it when I saw it, and I liked it when I saw it again, and I'm sure I'll like it when I when I watch it a third time. It is just an iconic martial arts movie for a reason. Like it's very straightforward. It's very simple, but I think that's kind of what makes it so enjoyable, right? Like it doesn't need to be have a ton of wire work or a ton of elaborateness. It doesn't need to be like completely unimitatable. It doesn't need to be super convoluted. It just is what it is, and that's what makes it great. So, what is the plot of the movie? Well, Bruce Lee is a Shaolin monk just chilling on in his temple training martial arts, right? He's just some guy, right? And he is recruited by this government agency to infiltrate this island where this mafia boss, essentially, this crime lord, is hosting a martial arts tournament. So he and a bunch of other guys travel to this island and compete for this guy and uncover this massive conspiracy that this guy is doing with like exporting women, getting them hooked on drugs, and doing all this stuff. Like, again, it's very straightforward, right? But again, it really works. Like that's the thing here. Like it's simple, but it works. Like Bruce Lee is going up against these guys. This guy who's betrayed the Shaolin ways because this guy used to be a monk at the temple. Bruce Lee is going out there fighting this guy, trying to gather evidence to get this guy convicted, I should say. He's going up there competing, and then these other guys sort of get embroiled in this conflict, right? Because Han, the villain, is trying to find someone to bring into his operation. I don't know why they specifically want martial artists to begin with, and that's kind of my problem with the movie. Like the whole setup is cool as shit, but like I feel almost like it's too short. Like I think Jackie Chan's The Young Master was like 3 hours long. I think I liked that more than this because like it felt like there was all this stuff going on. I felt like it wasn't quite 3 hours long. What am I talking about? It was. It felt like it had more fight scenes. It felt like each character had their own personality, and like it had all this cool build up and stuff like that. Like this one, it feels mostly just Bruce going out there fighting these guys, and that's pretty much it. And that's cool. That's interesting. But it's very straightforward, and it works. But at the same time, it's kind of disappointing, right? Like you kind of want Bruce to do more stuff, and like you never get the impression in these movies that Bruce ever really struggles fighting anyone. He's just that's kind of what makes it awesome. But the thing with Bruce is that like he's so good at what he does, he just like straight up crushes everyone he fights. Like it doesn't matter who it is. It can be this like giant Chinese dude. It can be like this giant bearded motherfucker. It could be Han with his like clawed detachable hand. Like no matter who he fights, he's gonna fuck him up, and that's awesome. But like it kind of leads to like really boring cinematography at some points. Like when you're just looking at how awesome Bruce Lee is, like it's cool as shit. But like it also seems kind of shallow because it doesn't seem like there's any real almost any real conflict because like there are so many times where like Bruce Lee is just like like beating the shit out of like 10, 20 guys at once, and it's cool, but it feels like wouldn't Han have better fighters? And like if you're hosting a martial arts tournament, right, where people can conceivably betray you, where you're suspicious of everyone, like why would you not already have expert martial artists like I don't know. Bruce Lee is just crushing everyone to the point where it's just wow, wow. Like take O'Hara, right? This is probably the best example of this. Like O'Hara is the one that Bruce Lee cannot fucking stand because O'Hara basically drove Lee's sister to killing herself because like she was surrounded by these guys. She had to take up. This is another thing I need to bring up about this movie. It is emotional and morbid as shit, like way more than you would expect compared to like Jackie Chan and stuff like that. Like I found it to be a bit darker than what I'm used to in these kind of movies. So essentially, the girl kills herself. Bruce Lee's sister kills herself, so O'Hara could not capture her and like make her Han's slave or whatever. And Bruce is like made aware of this. So when he fights O'Hara, like you're expect like O'Hara throughout the entire thing, like more than Han even, is built up as being like this amazing martial artist, right? Bruce outright destroys him. Like they get into their fighting stances, and it's just like O'Hara falls to the ground. Like O'Hara does not land a single hit on Bruce throughout the entire thing. And on one hand, it's awesome because it makes Bruce look badass as fuck, but like it just feels like there could have been more to it. Like there could have been more to the tournament. Like that's the thing about this. More to the tournament. Like why? I don't understand why those two other characters, Roper and Williams, are there. Now, don't get me wrong, both are badass and both have their own unique scenes to them, like that make them cool. But like it feels like to me like they should have been opponents to Lee rather than like allies. Like maybe they should have been like more neutral characters. Maybe they should have been more like ambivalent to like what's going on. Like I don't know whether it was to make it more relatable to American audiences. I don't know, but the black guy dies. Yeah, they do a good job of making all these characters likable, giving them all their personality. Like I don't even really understand why Roper and Bruce Lee teamed up at the end. Like I know Roper doesn't like what Han is doing, but I don't know. I think there should have been more to it. Like I think they could have done a lot more with these characters. Like what does Williams do in this? Like he shows up, fucks like 4 bitches, badass by the way. Then he goes outside, and then Han thinks like he did what Bruce did, and like so has him executed. I don't know. Like it's interesting. It works. It's fun. But like I think there could have been more to it. Like I think they could have built up on this premise a lot better. I think they should have had more fighters. I do think that this isn't Bruce Lee's best. Like I think I do prefer Fists of Fury. I haven't seen like everything he did. Like I think there's a couple more movies I haven't seen. But like I think I do like Fists of Fury better than this. I think it has better sequences, better action sequences. I think it has better better competition between characters. I think it has a better core conflict. With Bruce Lee going on this like crazy rampage, and that not being the thing to do in this, you know what I mean? Like that movie feels like it actually has a conflict. It actually feels like Bruce is making a mistake and like he's getting everyone around him in severe trouble, right? Like that it has a lot more emotional weight to it. Like now, I'm not saying Enter the Dragon doesn't have moments like that. Like I was surprisingly really invested in that in Roper and his relationship with this like really with this blonde chick, right? Like, she you go to the island and like she seems to be like this typical evil Bond girl character, right? Who Roper starts a relationship with, a badass, right? Like you get the impression she will be like kind of torn between Han and between Roper. No, she's like completely on Roper's side towards the end, but then she gets killed, and then like it's sort of this downer ending, for Roper. It's just man, what a way to end it. They didn't need to do that, and that's kind of what makes it kind of impactful. I think is that like she didn't need to die. And that's kind of why I felt like this movie did work. Like, and like I didn't think it was the best movie ever or anything like that. Like, I do think I will be one of those people who are like, yeah, I don't think this is the best martial arts movie ever made. But I did really like it, and I do really respect it, and I do really encourage you to go out and watch it. It is definitely worth a watch.